Good morning. Good morning, good morning. So I would like to say just a wonderful welcome on behalf of JPMorgan Chase. My name is Raquel Oden. I have the honor and pleasure of leading our network expansion across our 4,700 branches. But where are we today?
The greatest community in
What? We are in Baltimore. And I want to tell you, Mondawmin could not have picked a better day to celebrate what we're about to share with you. And I have to be honest with you, what makes me so exciting is, one, to have all of you here from the community here with us today, because we actually have the ability and the pleasure of pre-announcing this amazing groundbreaking of what we are committing to be a phenomenal, phenomenal community branch that we could not be more proud of. But I want to be very clear, this is your house. It is a community branch based and built for all of you so that we can serve this community and allow this community to be part of our branch. And so we're so excited to be here with you today. I want to say just a quick thank you to Mayor Scott for being here. Oh, there you are. Sorry, being here today. There are a lot of places you could choose to be, and you chose to be here with us today, and I want to just say a huge thank you for that. It says who you are and actually what your commitment is always, not only to the community, but to corporate America who wants to partner with you. I also have the pleasure of State Senator Hayes and Councilman Torres, who's with us as well today. So just a huge thank you for them for joining us. So as I shared with you in our network expansion, very importantly here in the Mid-Atlantic region, we have the excitement of saying that we entered this market in 2018. In that standpoint, we had committed to building and 400 branches across all of network expansion, which really comprised 25 states that we entered. So we are the only bank in the 48 contiguous states across the United States. But very importantly, in the Mid-Atlantic region, we've already built over 70 branches since 2018. Now, to show you how serious we are, because as we think about what we do here, we were committed and we say we would stay committed. And we announced as well yesterday that we will be building another 70 branches, so we'll be at 140 branches by the end of 2025. Now, why does the community branch matter so much to all of us? And I say all of us because it is all of us. The importance of the community branch, this is where we actually build a branch that's in the community, but we are building a community center within this branch for which the community will use that center. We also will build the ability for what we call pop-up shops, because we want to support those small business owners that can actually use this space to pop up and profile their businesses in a place where not only where they get to bring in customers and clients, but very importantly, we could figure out how we help them on their journey of financial health. As I told anybody, the honor and pleasure of this job is the fact that while we are building these wonderful spaces for the community, at the same time, we are committed to the importance of lifting that community, and we lift the community through financial health. And so when you enter the four walls of our branches, we want to make sure that you understand our purpose is not only to serve you, but also uplift and provide you the support you need to be on that journey of financial health and, very importantly, understanding financial literacy. It's more needed in our community than others, and we've talked about this, you know, the distrust of big corporations coming in, but very importantly, the distrust of black and brown people. But what we're sharing with you is what you will see. If you allow us, and the very important piece of this is we hire from the local community. You allow us to bring you in, and will allow us to do what we do, and very importantly, I see this as a partnership and a journey we will be on together. So as you will see today, we're super excited, and we have so many great community leaders who have joined us as well today. I want to just do a big round of applause for all the community leaders who are with us. I can't name them all. I would like to mention Dr. Franklin Lance, who's standing right here in the front, as a quick, wonderful acknowledgement, as he leads Parks and People, and I think all of you know what that means. And he's taking spaces that were not actually usable and making sure that they are places where the family can come together as a unit and, very importantly, have the continuation of development. And we're so happy to partner with you around the financial literacy of those places that you've put together to make sure that we can be part not only of the institution, but very importantly, part of this community. So it's a groundbreaking, and I want you to look at the renderings that are around, because that's what this is going to look like. And our commitment is we will be building this by the fourth quarter of this year. So we wanted to bring you here early. We wanted to what I call publicly declare what we're going to do. And as you can see by bringing you here and saying by the end of 2022, this beautiful facility will be ours together. So I'm so excited to be with you today. And I want to say just a huge thank you to our local team. But all of this would not be possible because we're really grateful for our senior leadership being here, which very importantly, I get to bring up the chairman of the Mid-Atlantic, Mr. Peter Scheer.
Raquel, thank you. Thank you all. It is great to be back in Baltimore. It is especially great that it's a beautiful day because the last time I was here with the mayor, it was about 15 degrees and we were outside and he kept elbowing me away from the heater. So glad we don't have to have that issue today. We're just so pleased to be here with the mayor, the senator, the councilman, all of you. I guess the most important thing I can say today is we believe in Baltimore, and we are doubling down on our commitment to this great city because we see the possibility and we see the promise of this city. But like many communities, we also see the challenges. We see the disparities. And when we come in and have a presence in a city like this, we want to be part of the solution to those economic challenges that's too many of our fellow citizens are facing. That's why branches are so important to us. You talk to a lot of people that say branches are a thing of the past. We couldn't believe that for a second. They are, as Raquel said, they are a vital part of our communities, and I should say a third of all our branches will be in low and moderate income communities because we think they are the building blocks for financial security for so many people. And this community branch, which Raquel talked about, will be a really vital part of this community, working with so many of our wonderful partners who are here today. So as we open branches, as we expand our work and banking services, we are about expanding access to capital, increasing access to home ownership, affordable housing, collaborating with companies, and the senator and I were just talking about this, policymakers and community leaders to make the kind of lasting change and sustainable change we need in these communities. The last time we were here, we announced a $20 million commitment to advance economic opportunity, mobility, affordable housing, and one of the most important folks, thank you, one of the most I'll take that as like an affirmation. One of the most important things, and frankly, one of the things the mayor and his team have talked about for so long as we think about the key drivers of economic mobility is investing in women of color who are so critical to the neighborhoods and communities. And these are the most important investments that we can make to try to bridge this racial wealth divide. And we have great partners. I'm just thrilled that many of the leaders of power prioritizing our Women's Economic Rise Collaborative are here. We announced earlier this year a $5 million investment to help create a continuum of, it's big. Wealth building for Black, Hispanic, Latino women. We're focused on affordable housing. I see Bree Jones here. We invested another $2 million in parity homes to help them scale some of their efforts. And this is how we're going to continue to work with you, work with the community, work with government leaders like the mayor and the senator and the councilman to get this right. Let me make one final point. Raquel mentioned the fact that we have these leaders here today. In addition to my role as chairman of this region, I've overseen all of our community investments for the last 10 years around the United States and around the world. I sit on the firm's operating committee, so I look at how we, as a business, as one of the largest companies in the United States, make a decision about where to invest and how to invest. And so much of that decision is based on the local leadership. Do we have the kind of leaders who will work together, who will collaborate, who will have an honest, direct conversation with us? And I will tell you, that is one of the big differentiators for Baltimore right now. I had a chance to meet the mayor 3 years ago when he was the city council president. And I will tell you, a couple of you were with me that day. I couldn't just say I was impressed. I was blown away by his focus and determination. We started talking about neighborhoods, and like few other mayors around the country, he literally pulled out maps of all the neighborhoods in the city. And he talked about the challenges of each neighborhood and his hopes for what those neighborhoods can be. And this is the type of approach, this willingness to listen, to work with you, to collaborate, to tell you the problems you're having, and to come to solutions that will help to ensure that this city will be a place where people can aspire to their best dreams and hopes and aspirations. And that is what we are so proud to be a part of. And it's a great pleasure for me to welcome your mayor, Brandon Scott. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. If anyone knows me, they know I love a good map. And thank you. And good morning, everyone. And thank you for having me. I would like to take acknowledge some of my good friends that are here with us today. Senator Antonio Hayes Sr., the best father, senator in the 40th District. Councilman James Torrance, who is also known as Jace's father here. He's the secondary councilman. James doesn't know that, but Jace tells us that all the time. Peter, I want to thank you for everything that you have done for Baltimore and your investment in Baltimore, and really for your belief in Baltimore. And Raquel, thank you for deciding that our city is something worth investing in and worth believing in. I know I saw the mayor of Mondawmin earlier. Where did she go, Miss Jack? There she is back there. Man, Miss Jackie, how are you? Our mission, and Dr. Lance and all of our wonderful community leaders that are here, our mission to close the wealth gap has never been more clear. We know that need has been exacerbated by this pandemic coming from COVID-19. And what we all know and what we can see today is that we have to be thankful for partners like JPMorgan Chase for what they are doing and will continue to do for us. Anyone who understands that critical work and how that will impact our city for generations to come. As Peter said, we recently announced $20 million, a part of JPMorgan's Advancing Cities Challenge, with the initial $7 million investment going to support economic mobility for Black and Latino women right here in Baltimore City, to support the work of Bree and others who are expanding home ownership opportunities. And as I said on that very cold day in February, if you want to see progress happening in Baltimore, if you want to see leadership, if you want to find out where things are going to go, then you follow and trust in Black women. I truly believe that all Baltimoreans, regardless of their zip code, whether you grew up in 21215 like me or 21217 like my friends behind me, all those people deserve the opportunity to have the access to the tools that they need to prosper financially. And the branches that are based in our communities are so important to that. We know for years bank branches and banks have shied away from communities like Mondawmin. They've shied away from communities like Cherry Hill, where Chase has another branch, a bank branch. And that's important. That is important for us to be here on this ground today, because when folks think about Mondawmin, they think about the uprising. They think about a tragic incident in Baltimore's history. But what you're seeing today is an investment in how we can become the best version of ourselves, and believing in a community that so many people want to write off forever, that so many people believe does not deserve investment. That is what we're talking about here today. This community branch, which is one of a few in the country, will sit at a central part of a great city. Mondawmin, as we know, is a major hub in Baltimore, and I have no doubt that the community will benefit greatly from the financial services and the multi-purpose use of the facility. Securing mortgages, business loans, funding for nonprofit, financial improvement workshops, and so much more. If you go to school in Baltimore City, beyond middle school and high school, you come through Mondawmin. So having that opportunity for our young people as they're getting their youth workshops and other things to see a bank branch to come in to learn these things are such an essential part of how we can grow our future in Baltimore. And this work actually builds on the great work being done to revitalize the former Target at the mall by Tim Regan and others, right? Yeah, let's clap for Tim. Thank you, Tim. Together, we can restore Mondawmin to its critical status in the community as a hub, and giving it the attention and investment that it deserves. And we are so grateful to have JPMorgan Chase as an incredible and invaluable partner in our work to reinvest and foster inclusive growth as a part of Baltimore's renaissance. JPMorgan Chase has made a pledge to advance racial equity in this country. And I made that pledge to our residents here in Baltimore. This groundbreaking and the other actions and other things to come is essential in putting our words to action. I applaud them for their community-based efforts and making it very clear that their institution believes in the vision that we are undertaking as a city. Now, I will say there is one thing, Peter and Raquel, that y'all made it very hard. When you come to Mondawmin, it's kind of hard to resist the temptation to go buy a bucket of snickerdoodle cookies that we love so much here in Baltimore. But we thank you and we appreciate you, not just today, but every day for what you do for Baltimore City. And with that, I can't wait to come back in a few months for the ribbon cutting, and I'll turn it over to my good friend of the 40th District, the man who represents most of the Scots in Baltimore City, Senator Antonio Hayes Sr.
Good morning. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here at Mondawmin, and I want to thank Raquel and both Peter and your entire team at Chase for bringing this awesome opportunity to West Baltimore. Barring the ambulance noise in the back, I'll speak into the mic. But today's a great day, and to a testament to their sense of prioritizing community. It's just not any ordinary community people here. I look out and Mayor Scott recognized Jackie Caldwell, the former president of Greater Mondawmin, who you wouldn't know that she's handed over the mantle because she's still doing the hard work. Also, you know, she's not only the general manager here at Mondawmin Mall, but she's also a homegirl who is committed to this community. Miss Romaine is sitting over there videotaping the whole thing. I see Miss Marita Gooden, from Healthy Neighborhoods, who are working with communities, middle neighborhoods throughout our city and making sure that they have an opportunity to be successful and realize the wealth that it brings. And so it's a good day here in West Baltimore. And this new location is not only important to Maryland, but it's important to Baltimore City specifically. West Baltimore holds immense potential for its economic growth. However, there has been decades of neglect where property values have declined throughout our city. In 2021, a young lady by the name of Bree Jones came to my office on her birthday. And I asked Bree, after she testified on a piece of legislation that I was sponsoring, what else could we be doing for Baltimore? And without hesitation, Bree got out a piece of paper and a pen and started jotting down notes. And then in the following year, we were able to pass the appraisal gap for historically redlined communities. And so, yes, absolutely. And so Baltimore has that talent, and like Peter said, you know, we also got a chance in that legislation to work with the policy folks at Chase. And so they're not new to the game and really, you know, invested in our community. And so we're so grateful for their commitment, especially for this community bank right here in the heartbeat of West Baltimore. I want to thank everyone who came out today. But now I'll turn it over to my good colleague from the 7th Council District and my neighbor and fraternity brother, Councilman James Torrance.
Good morning, everyone. Councilman Torrance of the 7th District. I'm excited to be here because last fall when I met with members of Chase and their local branch and their local staff, there was something that was resounding about the message that black communities deserve to be banked, right? Not we're underbanked, but we deserve to be banked. But also we deserve to have institutions that allow us to trust in the processes, to provide the technical assistance for our small businesses, to show that the individuals who are those sole proprietors or those persons who have not had a physical bank account can have one, but also we can nurture that financial literacy so that you can make the next financial steps that puts your family on the right trajectory. And not only that, you have a branch where you can actually come and have meetings. You can have functions in this branch. That is big because one of the things is there's a difference between being in a community and of the community, right? And then actually physically talking to community leaders about how can we be of the community is one of those things. I'm thankful for that investment, Raquel and Peter, but also I'm thankful for being a partner because I see that community leaders are here. That means that they have a vested interest, they're buying into it, but also they have a message where we deserve to be banked. And I just want to leave with that. Black communities deserve to be banked, and I'm happy Chase is saying that as well, and I look forward to seeing the progress in the ribbon cutting in the fall.
I don't know that there's much left to be said. Thank you, Councilman Torrance. I am Michelle Lawrence, and I am the Divisional Director for Network Expansion, and I have the privilege of leading our efforts around community and hiring folks like Al Pearson, who's a community manager for this amazing community center. And so because of all of the has been said, I can be brief, and I can't quite be seated, but I can certainly be brief. What we will do is deliver on the promise. I use these 3 T's all the time. It's time, treasure, and talent. And in as much as we write a check, we come alongside that check with time and talent. And the time that we're investing is how we're going to be intentional about equipping, educating, and enhancing the members of this fine community. We have partners at our institution. Not only do we have a community manager, but there are some esteemed partners right behind you that are known as minority entrepreneur small business consultants who will take one-on-one time with small business owners. Hear me, one-on-one time with small business owners, not for a fee, not necessarily to say you have to bank with us, but to bridge the gap around what you know, what you don't know, so that you have tools and resources to run a thriving and successful business. And we have been intentional about those types of partners and relationships here at Chase because we recognize that there's a holistic need to address how we're going to bridge that wealth gap. And some of that is through not just educating you around what you do with your personal finances, but for many who are CEOs and small business entrepreneurs, that partner is equally important. Amen. We also have community home lending advisors. So we recognize that while there is this onslaught of gentrification, that we have a responsibility to equip and prepare you to become homeowners. And so there is someone dedicated to doing just that. So our commitment to community is threefold. Yes, we will certainly provide you with treasure, but our time and our talent is certainly going to follow. So with that being said, I do want to offer up this. Many of you are thinking that this community initiative and this community center, started recently. I'm here to tell you 2018 is when the vision was set. And I am privileged to introduce to Baltimore the market director that set the tone in Harlem as the branch manager of the community center in Harlem, none other than Mr. Melvin Collins.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for being here today. I'm super excited about Mondawmin Community Branch. I know, with the leadership of LaToya Cooper, who is our branch manager, let's give it up for her, and also our relationship bankers. We truly are going to make a difference in the Baltimore community. When I think about what we've been able to accomplish, from 2019 when we first opened our Charles Village branch to this upcoming fall when we open, the branch here in Mondawmin, we've been able to impact the lives of so many of those that have walked inside of all of our branches. I get passionate and overjoyed when I think about what we've been able to accomplish specifically in Cherry Hill. Right. And so with that, when I think about our growth and our expansion, as Raquel mentioned earlier, we will have 6 branches specifically in Baltimore City as of fall, and in Greater Baltimore specifically, we will have up to 12 branches. But I'm super excited about the fact that we will continue to expand beyond that, and in a couple of years, we will get up to an additional 20 branches in the Greater Baltimore area. And so when I think about, my role as a leader, my role is to make sure that everyone in Baltimore City feels the love when they walk inside of each and every one of our branches. And so that starts off with us being the bank for all. We want to make sure that when you walk into our branches, you have the opportunity of having a free financial checkup to make sure that you have the goals, you have the tools, you have the resources in order for you to thrive. Second, we want to be the easiest bank to bank with. And third, we want to be trusted in our communities. And trusted in our communities means that we have to have a presence and we have to open branches. And so with that, we also need to make sure as we are building the trust, we are hiring locally. And so I'm super excited to welcome up with me LaToya Cooper, who is our branch manager. She grew up not too far from here. She went to the public schools in the area. And so I'm super excited about what her and the team are going to accomplish here in Mondawmin Mall. And with that, I'll turn it over to LaToya.
Thank you all for being here today. I am overwhelmed and overjoyed to be able to stand here and see all of you come out to support us. You could have been anywhere and you chose to be here. So on behalf of all of us, and especially my teammates here, I want to say thank you, and I invite you all to come out and see us at the branch in the fall.
Hello. I am very excited, and I am also overjoyed to be a part of Chase. As an RB that will be here to assist and help everyone in the community, I'm excited to let them know about financial literacy. I'm excited to teach and to help and to hopefully turn this around and to show the beauty of Baltimore. With all of your assistance, with the building of this branch, and with Chase taking on that additional investment, I can't wait to see what, we will all bring to this area and this community. Thank you. Yes.
So I want to thank our relationship banker and our entire team. And so while we had the moment here to talk about the groundbreaking, very importantly, I just want to say thank you to all of you. Thank you to all of you heard from our speakers. And very importantly, you see the local team we have here. They're genuinely from here, and they genuinely want to do what's right for this community. And very importantly, how do we lift so that we can thrive, not survive? Yes. Those are the words we live by. So with that, we're going to commence with our groundbreaking ceremony.